Yeah, there's a toilet. So, get this thing going real quick. What's happening? Podcast time. Whoa. Yeah, I'm feeling it. That's a Jay-Z song. Feeling it. Feeling it. So, keep it realer than most. We're not battling a lot of wind. I don't see ants on the ground. I think we're okay. But they might come running for this honey bun. This will really, I probably maybe should, right? Okay. Because I just thought about it. Let me just actually, I got grabbed my journal yesterday, so let me just try it. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and get a couple things out. We got that. Oh, here it is, right here. I could probably move it to a different pocket as well. Because I just kind of just stuffed stuff in the bag. I was just trying to stuff stuff in the bag. I was trying to see even if you like catching it. But anyway, not today. Alright. Yeah, it should be pretty good. We're just gonna talk about this whole first part, just getting set up. Oh, I didn't even like the real part. I'm really feeling it. Some things can be like motivational, kind of sort of, but then like you can still be motivated and still not. Maybe kind of sort of, small steps, actions, just keep on. Eventually, something. Okay. So. Alright. Let's see what we got going on today. Because I had this inside the actual bag. I didn't have it like on the outside to save space on the inside. So well, it's leaning now because of these keychains, but it was also, I wasn't doing like an extremely good job of showing off the fish, man. And then this, I ain't even really kind of sort of have not. Oh, yeah, I got a new one though. Man, I got 6 now. Yeah, right now I really just need to like calm down. Relax. Yeah. There was just stuff that had to get done. And it was like, I was just, like, you probably pay your bills online. That's like a thing, or, just like, even like just like some, cause like I'm proud. Like I was very proud of myself. I was very proud of myself. Just the last 72 hours. Just getting up, making it happen. Today, Thursday, all day. All day is Thursday today. So, Okay, there's not too much of a whatchamacallit. So sometimes you're wearing these socks and look at my skin. There's indentation. I'm coming back to that, the indentation. Somebody had an indentation on their forehead though. Not in any type of whatever. I'm gonna get to that. Alright, so let me actually. Yes, I'm gonna have to like move the thing. Okay, we're gonna write down timestamps. We're in the 1200s. No, that's not a year in history. I mean, it is, but I'm talking about, you know what I mean. If you don't, you don't. All right, 12. Oh, yeah. Okay. Actually, it took this long just to get set up. Oh, I got a drink. And we still getting set up. Do I have everything? Are you ready? Alright, now I'm saying I'm ready. Because I'm ready. I'm ready. Does this need to be shake well? 160 milligrams caffeine per 16 ounce serve. Okay, I don't need to shake well. Can I step up? No, I don't think I got no room to shake anymore. Dr. Pepper owns this. Good job, Dr. Pepper. Right? Yeah, Dr. Pepper 7 Up. Alright. It's morphin' time. What do you want to call this? We just say get ready with me. Alright. Okay. Now we'll get this next one. Because we want to get all of these. Alright, so we're in the 1200s now. No. That is not. I'm not talking about a year in history. I'm talking about the range and numbering progress for the year. Yeah, this thing getting full, so some stuff is I'm definitely gonna have to still make that wall again. I don't have to make it today. I don't have to make it tomorrow. I don't gotta make it today after that. But so satisfying. That was good. That one went away. Oh no, then there's your ant. But it was just one. So we're in the 1200s. $1200. So for the last 100, I've been saying $1200. Now I have to say $1200. That has to go first. Prefix. We're in the 1200s. This is where I called it. Take the time, maybe, if I want to. You get to learn what you want to learn now. Okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. See? It be stuff like that. And that's why every time I get up and go, I still got to check the bag for everything. I wanted everything already. What made you angry, Mr. Shelby? The slowness. Tommy Shelby pose. Everyone's a whore. They just a different parts of themselves. These feel a little proper. Yeah, this is for sure 3 and 4. One of them might be pretty smooth. They both might. I got it from the good spot. Sometimes one over there, like, what's going on over here? Same product. But if you know, you know. You might find the same product at 2 different stores, but that ain't the same product. Me le due 101, me le due 102. The 101 is a little easier. Me le due 102. Me le due 102. Me le due 100. Me le due 101. Me le due 102. Which one do I like more? Right now, 101. I got that one down pat. Both of those are gonna do pretty well. That 3 and 4, I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. All right, so that's set. I mean, mark. Get set. Let's go with the newest one, cause I actually kind of like it. Well, it's daylight. Questo è soggetto. Mille duecentuno. We're in the 1200s. No. I'm not referring to a time period in history. I'm not sure if the 1200s even have a time. Alright. Get in there. It'll be like, get into the Renaissance, the Victorian era, those type of things. Questo è soggetto 1201. I'm always teaching. Now what you decide to learn and focus is on is up to you. Really? University of YouTube. Professor Chief Gihareh. I don't know, man. Some people, they be talking about it. They don't do it. You really gonna do it, though? You gonna do it, though? Raw. I'm talking master teacher. I gotta come back to that. Where am I? I'm still teaching. Mille. It's 1,000. Due is 2. Cento, 100. Uno, 1. 1201. 1,000. 1200. 1,200. 1201. 1,201. We're in the 1200s. Let me go ahead and just get this stuff out the way. There we go. Welcome to the graffiti jungle. Paulo Pulingue. Benvenuti nella. Oh, I almost messed that up there. Let's take a sip. Miliciento. No. Bienvenidos. Is Spanish. Bienvenue is French. Benvenuti nella jungla di graffiti is Italian. Welcome to the graffiti jungle. Paulo Pulingue. Questo è Impostore Rockstar. It's the fake rockstar chat show. Pensieri Tangentiali. Former No Tangential Thought Chat Show. Shout out to my co-host and doggy Heaven Bailey. I got this is my Loch Ness monster, my pet fish, Caesar. No salad. As I shout out to my co-host and doggy Heaven Bailey. Pensieri Tangentiali. Podcast. So that's our bye. Questo è soggetto. 1201. This says subject. This is subject. I'm subjected to this. Why am I subjected to your intelligence? One thousand two hundred one. Okay. All right. Said all that. Now I think I can actually. I can take this off. All right. All right. Wow. So, I thought I had a little something, stuff I was saying. I think I'll come back to that. Because I already at least talked about it. Just make it as if you can make a great leader. It is this. This is just tailoring and saying extra. You still talking about that? Rose gold. Uh-oh. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to use the rose gold, the shit like the rose gold pen. And, definitely gotta do that. So this next part though. You ever look up to somebody? Like, you know, when they say, show me who your closest friends are, and I tell you who you are. Alright? Because the reason you got them as your closest friends, similar traits, qualities, and then they may have more embellished or exaggerated qualities than you do that you would like to exude. Like, you may have a friend who's outgoing, a social butterfly, you may be that to a degree, and that's probably why you have them as a close friend, because you like that about them. Bringing MySpace back. Oh, this top 8? I don't even got 8 friends. Have Tom 8 times. Put my pets in there. Just me and my pets. Okay. But, you know, some people, you know, you look up to them. Everybody, people don't really be admitting that. Every once in a while, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You know, for somebody to even give a compliment, somebody could legitimately like your shoes, outfit, or what you're just at, but to say it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I've had some people express that they like look up to me, you know. And you know, Lil Wayne has this one thing though. He was like, I ain't asked for that though. I ain't asked for you to look up to me, admire me, want to be like me. I just live my life. Maybe I should pick that cup back up. Look up Lil Wayne Year of the Cup. You might have heard the snippet of the audio in that Money Bag. Waukesha. Oh yeah, this one's good, bro. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. All right. I've had people say they look admire me for various reasons. And so last night, you know, on Instagram, you may know this person. And it suggested, I actually knew the person. Knew of them. No. I used to know this person. I used to know this person. And, you know, sometimes it's where from. I used to know this person. So, anything that I say judgmental, at least I admit it. I'm judgmental. But, so this is how it went. So it suggested her. All right, I ain't seen her in years. Like almost since high school. I ain't seen her since like high school. Mind you, she was like a grade ahead or so. So she was just a little bit older. I forget by how much. I forget about how much. It was not too much. Like, we was all close. But you wasn't about to bag her. So she was legitimately like big sis type shit. And she was always cool. And she won't look at us like a little bro type. So she was always gonna be cool to us and around us. You see what I'm saying? She look at us on some little bro type, like, because she's a girl, so she probably told me, you know, the guys her age and older. Not only that, she's a little more. So she definitely talking to guys her age or older. What happened was, now, you know, looking at pictures like, how she look now, you know? She was always decent. She pretty as she light skinned, she was always decent. But cause she always decent. But girls in the gym, she got it or she don't. I don't know what about the intrinsic motivation to go to the gym and work out. They're always decent now. Now the one picture I don't know is I thought it was looking. I always think people should at least really just, you know, see what you at least look like on that. Like, man, if I was to really work out and take this shit seriously, you know, at least look. Yeah, I had that on at least one time. Now, but I'm also saying that she ain't one that's like, oh yeah, she fell off. No. She decent. So what happened was, she put a picture in one of her pictures. There's a girl I had a legitimate crush on. This one, which one? Like in person, she was older. Now when I had a legitimate crush on her, she was older. But I had class with her just because, like, I technically probably could have graduated in 10th grade. Actually, like, the highest math you gotta take to, like, pass high school, graduate high school is like algebra 2. I was taking algebra 2 in 9th grade. Oh yeah. Well, anyway. So I had a genuine crush on her. I just remember, if she was to remember me, you know, like, everything's like good up until like this one moment type of thing, man. And this is like, at this point I'm actually kind of older, so, cause she was actually like sexy, and so she's black, like she ain't mixed with nothing, and I'm just trying to like, I just want to like say this is like, but it's like she has this Hispanic, like she's black, the way she talk, and what do you mean talk, act black? So I'm saying like, nothing is like, whatchamacallit, but she had like this Hispanic aesthetic almost to her. She brown skin and everything, but she had a cute personality. and she could dress. She was fly. I had a crush on her, bro. I think she hit me with the, maybe when you get older, you turn 18. And I think, and you could look back, I think I had messaged her a couple times and she had never responded. And so, like, this is me, like, a minute, like, looking back, I'm like, yo, that was just so weird, bro. Because I may have sent this message, like, 3 times. On some, I'm 18 now. Bro. Anyway. She was in one of the pictures that the other girl posted. I went looking. Alright, what she look like right now? I don't think she probably got Instagram or something. Like, that's how she fly. And I can only imagine, right? Like, that was weird for that, what I did. And I ain't never even get with her. So I can only imagine, like, it's one of those, she probably don't be on any type of social media. She's super low-key. Like, she legitimately probably don't want or need any whatchamacallit, bro. How I'm trying to say that, like, she gets enough, I'm pretty sure she gets enough of that in real life. Like, she don't really even want or need to whatever. Like, she probably could have one just to, but she would even then, like, if I was to see her and talk to her, if she was to tell me, because like, oh, well, where do you take your pictures and your videos and post? She probably, I just keep them on my phone. she could be of that essence and vibe. Like, dang, bro, you wouldn't even know she existed. She fired. I went looking for her page. One shorty still decent. Now, the last one she was like, I don't know if it was the angle of perception, but it was like, So, but on the other one, she had a sister. Now, what's that Drake lyric? Sit and talk about girls that we almost have. We threw a party, yeah, we threw a party. I'm just gonna say it like this, like, our sister of the first girl that was mentioned, that I said was suggested, I might know. Yeah, I also got matches. And I got the rose gold zipper. And I got there's a lot going on. This is actually Bob Marley on this thing. Where's that? Questo è soggetto. Lo sento. Misspoke. It's like middle of the school year. You change year and then you still writing last year's date. Year. Questo è soggetto. 1202. 1202. I'm writing down my timestamps. But I put a plus sign. I put 35:15, but I put a plus sign note. It's probably a little bit after that. Alright, what to do tomorrow? I wrote 35:15. So I could put plus 30. It's closer. Back to the story. Now we're on a crush. Never a girlfriend. Could have been girlfriend. I'm speaking from my perspective. So she had a younger sister. Now, she was older than us by like a year or so. But her younger sister might have been like a year back. Or a year under or something. So, then, there's also, she had certain things about her. She wasn't like no tomboy or whatever, but she was just a little more rough around the edges. She had Pop-Tart, you know. Her and her outside soft in the middle. She a girl. She's still a girl. She fight like me. Like she really got hands. Like she really will square up and, you know, she really will square up. Low key, that was something attractive about it though. High key, that was like attractive about it. That was something attractive about it though. She would really square up, and she could thump, bro. She could thump, like for legitimately, bro. She was fine with that. She hot. She used to race with us. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't like super athletic, but she used to race with us sometimes. Kind of fast. Anyway, basically I'm saying like, there was at one point, and this is just me from my perspective, like I remember sitting on the steps with her and talking to her. You know what I'm saying? Chatting with her and whatnot. I was showing a little more personality at this point. But I was also sitting there thinking about like, when it comes to glasses, it wasn't until like maybe junior year of college. I'm not even sure when I actually finally switched glasses again to get some different ones. But it probably wasn't until like junior year of college where I had some glasses that I actually liked. So, I just remember there was a time though, like, and this is like, I'm gonna get back to the, it's my used to look up to type of thing. I just remember like showing a little bit more personality. Sitting there kicking with her, chatting with her, laughing with her, talking to her and whatnot. And I think there was a sliver, a moment of time type of thing that if me or her would have said anything, like and vocalized it, I think that would have been my girlfriend at some point. Like, we probably would have dated. For how long? Not sure. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, but I think at some point that probably would have been my girlfriend. Now she probably got kids. That's just what I'm doing. And yeah. But I just remember sitting on the steps with her and chatting with her, talking to her, laughing with her, kicking with her. And I remember there was a moment in time that I think if either of us would have spoke up and really said something, we probably would have at least, you know what I'm saying, really entertained the thought for real, for real. She has some nice lips. So, it was I liked it for a little bit. And I just remember the last time I saw her, it was at a place, for one, it was like a place and a time, like, that you probably did not expect to see somebody that you, like, I hadn't saw her in years. Like, mind you, I'm talking about people I haven't seen in like 15 years type of thing. So I hadn't saw her in like years. And then the time and place that I did see her, not particularly at a point that either one of us probably would have wanted to be even seen type of thing. You know, like you walking in somewhere just to grab something, and you're not expecting like whatever. Girls in the gym, man. See somebody they look better than they used to look, or whatever. You know, you might have saw the one that was this. You might be going this one on now. You never know. So I mentioned her to also, when I say like, you know, I was starting to show a little bit more personality, funny, talk and chat. I remember there was like 2 things. I don't remember one. I used to just like, look, chick. But it was like a little more, you know, and the girls would like laugh at it or something. And I forget what the other little mannerism or whatever word it was. But I picked it up from this one guy. So I really looked up to him. Like, he even gave me like, not my first phone, but it wasn't a track phone. Like, it wasn't a prepaid phone. Yeah, it wasn't a prepaid phone. But you know, you can go, back then you should just take it to the one place and they would unlock it and you can still have it prepaid. Yeah, I really like that phone. I remember really liking that phone. Doesn't matter. I remember really liking that phone. And I really looked up to him, man. Like, so if there were 2 things anybody would know or say about him. One, I remember I said indentation. He was one that was going to have the line across his forehead. He had waves. You know that he was going to have his waves. And he was real particular about his hair. Like, you know he was going to have his waves, man. And he was funny. He was funny, man. Like, he did not have to try to be the class clown. He was just funny, bro. Like, if you had class with him, if he asked a question, he was funny. Just his way of going about every time this man talked. Right? just as growing up, it's always big who is and who ain't. This person is because of what they do and don't got. I'm speaking cryptically, descriptively, but if you know, you know. You don't, you don't. Whatever. So that was one thing about him, though. Some people knew that he had, and so, a lot of people, no, I don't know. But that would be something that I don't know why that's such a big deal, but a boy who hasn't will look up to a boy who has, and the girls who have or have not will gravitate more towards a boy who has. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. I'm saying that I feel like there was sometimes someone whatever I had basically emulated a part of him, and more people, you know what I'm saying? I was always cool, you know what I'm saying? But chill. But I do remember me just mocking, emulating the imitation is the greatest form of flattery that mediocrity can bestow upon greatness. I wanted to be like him, even if you was to ever think about it's some I would want to be that person, be like that person. Literally, he was like that for me. No funny, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I ever really told him that, but he also wasn't he didn't go seeking for attention. How certain stuff just lives rent free in your head, you really know, or certain I remember one time just walking to class and him just walking by himself, but moving through the people. He wasn't trying to talk to nobody, anything. He was just trying to get to the next place. And it's dang, bro. Just knowing yo, this is a funny guy, happy guy, and he ain't even trying to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I really remember that instant. Just him walking through the crowd, not talking to nobody, just sifting through, trying to get to the next class. And so he was funny, you know what I'm saying? He was gonna stay, presentable. He never really did too much. And then it was after I may have had a couple classes with him freshman year, but yeah, I knew him more in middle school. High school, I may have had I know I had psychology with him, maybe biology. No, I mean not biology. Maybe I don't know what. There was a science class. I remember the girl I sat next to. It was. I ain't gonna talk about it. Yeah, she thorough. She hot. But even like later, like she kind of grew up and it's like, yeah, I could see that being her vibe. Like her aesthetic, like she was thick, and not even like overly, and not even like overly touchy. So, yeah, I hadn't seen him since high school, and so the girl that popped up in the suggestions, he followed her. Now, mind you, I was looking for the other shit. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for the other shit that I had a crush on. But then I seen his page. Now, he was also like the type of person, like, he would have a page, wouldn't use it, delete it. Like, those type of things. Like, bro, he'll have there'll be one picture, a black and white picture. And then it was just, that was posted whatever, however many years ago. So, he was of that vibe, right? So, when I seen the Instagram, I'm thinking, like, you might know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, nah, like, he just posted, you know what I'm saying, relatively recently. Like, so he's using his page. And it has, like a lot of posts. And so, I hadn't seen him for sure, like, in over 15 years. And, like, this is a person I really used to look up to. You know what I'm saying? He was funny or this or whatever. Like, he had no problem with the girls. You know what I'm saying? They liked him, they wanted to be around him because he was funny. They liked talking to him, you know, in class. He not going with your class, but he just naturally funny. He always, you know what I'm saying? You know, somebody might have, you know, those bad days or so, like they're not in the mood, but like for the most part, he always just, you know, happy. And give me that phone, that first real phone. I think that's the last time I really saw him. That's the last time I really saw him in person. And so I say anything come across judgmental. I understand clearly where I'm at. I be judging myself. But it was like, dang, bro. And I was like, you just want to catch and see what somebody's doing, this and that, going. And it just made me think about that whole, you don't know not one successful person. You don't know not one successful person personally. Even his name was like, I ain't gonna give it, I'm not gonna say it, but if you listen to certain, you would know his name. Right? He had a full name. So looking at his face, first thing I noticed, I'm like, bro, yo, he looks smack like he ain't like he looked too much different, but he let his hair grow out. Like, so back then he had waves, right? He let his hair grow out. And then he was even looking at it like, okay, what you doing with it? Like, you see what I'm saying? But there are two musicians that you would probably, if I showed you a picture of him, well, oh, that look like. If I showed you another picture, you know, oh, that look like, it really looked like that. Looking at him, now I don't even know what he was trying to do. I'm waiting on his hair. And, like, he well, yeah, it'd be braided up, but it don't be like, you know, the different styles. I don't know what is going on with it. What are you trying to do with it? I don't know. But it ain't even like, so basically like, it's braided into a style. Well, at least it was for a long period of time. But it was like, even when it was taken out, it would get put back into that same little sign, like, and so like that's just like this is how you just wanted to look. That's what you just want to look like. And yeah, so it hadn't seen him over 15 years, so just scrolling, looking, and so it looked like he do some type of job, right? And you don't need to talk much on the event. And then the other joint was funny. But it's like, it was just straight up raw, like, just, just direct, straight to the point, like, this was going on. And what else? I know what else, like, what's going on there, what's going on there. There was rarely any videos of them talking. It would be like, you just know, you can use the sound from like another video and stuff like that. It was like a lot of those from TikTok and stuff. There was one video that was like, okay, now he trying to whatchamacallit. But even in that video, he looked smack like from the 70s or 80s. Very weird. You used to look at him. He don't look old by any means. He don't look old. But he looked like just a grown person out the 70s or 80s, bro. He looked like a young person, a young adult in the 70s, 80s. And that was only one video. The rest of it was just like the little whatchamacallits. And I don't know, right? And so there's a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things that are just like, yeah, you don't know what you would do in that person's situation. You would do what they did and had done in that situation. Well, whatever. I don't know what I expected. It's his life, in a sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just speaking for but it's somebody I really looked up to, and I don't know what I expected for that person to do in their life and everything. Go be whatever. And or have going on. Still seem very family oriented, or family together, family oriented. You know, those things that you can actually cherish and prioritize. That just funny, bro. That just funny. I was just like, yo, I really used to look up to this person. Like sometimes in certain situations, I'd be like, damn, what would this person say or do it right now? Not even referencing him, but like sometimes there's some other people I know, like, I'm like, yo, what would this person say or do in this situation? Like, they'll be able to handle this, or they'll be able to get out of this, or they'll say this and move like this, they'll talk like this, but, you know what I'm saying? So that was really interesting to me, and to see it, and I was just like, yo, I really used to look up to this person. And, you know, things can be worse and things can be better. It is what it is. But like, I can't say that. Anybody could look at me and be like, yo, you homeless. That's what I'm saying. Like really should have this person. It's crazy. Crazy, bro. That was I was like, yo, being nosy. Just being nosy, bro. Being nosy. So, just being nosy. But you ain't gonna get too much of whatever's going on by looking much from that part. I don't really know what. I just see it. Like him and the other one. Now, other bro, like him and other bro was super like cool. I think they still are. Cause I seen him wearing dude brand, and I'll even watch him. I'll watch him, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm on the fashion shit. You know what I'm saying? But and I'm really saying this like I meant like low key, even kind of paying homage. Like my sense of style and fashion, I can say like, see the other bro was like rich, from what I would consider anything. Like brother bro was like rich. He had his ways. He was always clean cut, diamond earring. He was always clean. Like they used to hang together, but I don't think he went to our high school though. So I feel like his mom used to drop him off somewhere else. And he lived in the other, like this one subdivision, just like the other one was a little more kind of sort of just uppity vibe, and this one was not. So he lived on the other side. But I remember he looked at me one day, because we used to do fashion like spray paint and this and third. Like, bro was always fresh, bro. Bro was always fresh. Like shoes, pants, shirt. Like bro was gonna have tough fits. So, dude, I remember looked at me one time and he was like, you should wear a cardigan, bro. He was like, you don't know what that is? He was like, just go look it up, man. You should rock one, bro. And he had some. And I remember once I finally did get one, people was actually complimenting me for wearing one, and it's like that I had to get more. I still got some too. I got a couple. So I was, he's like, bro, you should rock a cardigan, bro. And I remember that jump was a decent style for me. Like, I could put on anything at this point. I can wear a lot of stuff. But yeah. But I was even gonna say that, like, because I mentioned his brand, like, when I see his brand, like, the one image-wise maybe kind of sort of like a one thing, but the other part, like, the actual font thing with regards to me and my like, those type of things of just how you portraying and putting stuff up, like. But it's commendable because he got his own shop though, so it's like I got like my website. He got his own. He got an actual brick and mortar location people can pull up to touch. Like, so let's not even, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I would do stuff a little bit. I would change up a couple of stuff. Because his brand is almost like something more like a phrase. And it's like, I get it, but you know, sometimes I get pass off as corny. I did stuff a little bit differently, but well, me even saying I do stuff differently. So this one was Upper Jones. He been had his drink though, but I remember the bro used to tell me to do that. So yeah. Alright, that was that. I'm just thinking that at this back part, like I don't want to make another video, separate video for it. I kind of forget what the extra little stuff I want to kind of sort of say. I guess that's supposed to be the funny bone. I'll try this one. Questo è soggetto 1200 1203. $1,203. 1203. It's not the time. It's not the year. But 1203 sounds more like the time. It's not 1203. Oh. next thing, well, a continuation and continue to talk about the Darius Cooks. Some people said Crooks. I didn't know who he was. Well, now So, with the Darius Cooks Teacher situation. So, one thing, I posted the video, I edited it up, the thing is, he's a teacher now. You go to his YouTube page, you see a lot of food. Other people start digging in the archives and pulling out some other stuff. Spam, fake ham, scam. His name is anonymous with a couple other stuff throughout the years. People know him for other stuff. I had never. Somebody in the comments, I know that ain't who I think it is. So, he posted the video crying. That's always going. Anybody who record themselves crying, post it. Bro, it's the second day of school. It's the second day of school. As a man, you're crying on the second day of school. Why is he crying? These brown and black boys and girls can't read, can't write. They can read and write. They just didn't do it for you. It's the self-evaluation. So, one of my things I made a whole nother video about it. I already talked about what he was wearing on the first day. You trying to seem cool ain't one of your first objectives. One of your first objectives every time you get a new batch of students is to let them know your rules, your routines, how you gonna be running things, so they know how to conduct themselves. Image-wise, it needs to be very professional. Very. So I just did not, me looking at it, I ain't like it. I ain't appreciate that. I ain't appreciate your first day outfit. You wearing black patent leather J's, jeans, and the school t-shirt. That's for Friday. You can do that on Friday. Your first impression of you, their first time seeing you. I remember one student, she was like, the first time I saw you, she could tell you the fit that I had on. She's like, you had this yellow tie, this green quarter zip polo, Ralph Lauren. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's gonna be like, I'ma just, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even to like it's the pros and cons with it. But Obama had a tan suit. It ain't to establish this intimidating presence, but would be some more of a like, oh no, this person dressed up. Let me tell you what I'm saying. I'm gonna be a little more, because this person dressed up to the T right now, taking this moment, this occasion very seriously. You know, like, you offering a service. I remember, man, because I had some bad days. I had way more good days. I had some excellent, outstanding, amazing, super project catalyst, SPL. I had way more. You know what I'm saying? Whatchamacallit? But in the process of me learning, I remember one time, I'm sitting here trying to do my grad school assignment. I gave the students a little something. I'm thinking, I'm just going to sit down and work on this grad school assignment. What they doing? My teacher pulled me aside. She said, you did the students, you really did them a disservice today. I remember that. I wasn't even a full-fledged teacher yet. She said, you did them a disservice today. And this is my mentor teacher. We did them a disservice. Service. I'm not sure how long I just spent talking about that. I'm gonna just put a line. Presentation matters. You gotta be a teacher. This means you gotta look like one. There's certain things you need to say. Good morning. Take out your pencils, your paper, your note. Look up. Focus. Sit up. You know what I'm saying? Eyes up front. There's certain things you need to just say. Somewhere you just gotta look. Because it's the rigidness in the beginning. But then when they even start to relax, this is going, man, don't let this go over your head. Because then it'll be on some. Even their relaxation is excellent because they've fallen into they comfortably just working and doing type of thing. Even when it's the, how do I say this? Like, just for example, like if a student, like if you always had them, they got accustomed to just doing, not even a student, right? Let me just, because I'm gonna say like doing 10 math problems a day or something. Even then, it'll just come to a point where they would just habitually like just doing something. I'm gonna just go ahead and they just do 5 just comfortably, even in their relaxation on a slack day, because they just so used to doing 10, like setting the bar and standing up high. You gotta set certain standards, and there's ways to go about certain things, and that's why I was there. I don't know what class you teaching. My class, here's one thing about my class. People walk like, what class is this? What you teach? What it look like? Here's an ant. It's scurrying away. It's probably because of that honey bun though. That sugar from there. I should probably put that down, not up. I'm trying to get up here. But I'll be like, look around. You know what whatchamacallit? They'll be like, is it art? I understand why you would say that, because you see paintings and you see pictures, but if you go up a little closer, oh, this is math. See what I'm saying? Class look generic. You ain't spent the week before setting your classroom up preparing. So that was one of the things I noticed from that video. But then, you know, based off what was said, right? It doesn't seem like he has the mentality to be a teacher. Alright? Outside looking at people who don't know you. Saying this, day 2, you went online to complain about these students. I don't know you. Never seen. People in the comments knew about this prior, whatever, what you used to do, this and that, right? This is my first time seeing. So if you popped up on my timeline, how many other people's timelines did you pop up on? This was literally on some, a student might see this video. At your big old age, a student might see this video. And if one saw it, you know they're gonna show a friend. You see what he said? It's day 2. You crying. Stand up. Get some gristle. Get a backbone. It's day 2. You gonna say they can't read and can't write? Brother. All skinfolk and kinfolk. You gonna say they can't read and can't write? If I had said that, matter of fact, if I whatchamacallit, I'm trying to think about what year. If in Trenton, my first year, if one of my students would have saw that on day 2, it's gonna be a long year, brother. It's gonna be a long year. It would most likely be a girl that would vocalize and say, you said I can't read and can't write? And on some, I'm not even sure how, like, whatchamacallit. Like, cause I got a couple students who come to my mind, and mind you, I'm cool with them. But I know if someone, where it would be a topic, it would be addressed in class. If you, every single one of them students, if you ask them, can you read and write? Just generically, can you read and write? Yeah. They said you can't. Who said that? Who said I can't read and write? Who said that? Who said that? Oh no, I just didn't feel like it. I ain't feel like doing that. I ain't want to do that. If you was to hear that, I ain't. And it's like, well, could you legitimately do this though? This is on something like if it's a as a whatchamacallit, if a person was to pull like those group of students out, bro, legitimately. If I was to walk in that class, right? This is what it's one of those. And you know how to start but it's just like, okay. Show me a video. This person said y'all can't read and write. You can't do this. I don't particularly think that that's true. So what I would like to do, I would like for you all to prove this guy wrong. I would like for you all to prove him wrong. I think that this is what you can do. I think you can do this. I think I would like for you, this is what I would like for you to produce. Make this claim and use this evidence, right? Because that was his words, and use evidence and read and write this and articulate this, right? I want you all to collectively, you know what I'm saying, do that. This task right here. And I would even go as far as to say, it's not even if there's some things that you're confused about. See, this is what I'm saying. Because they can't. You tell me this person can't write their name? Okay. You tell me this person wouldn't be able to read the words, the cat in the hat, the sentence, the cat in the hat? They can probably read that, right? They can read and write to some level, to a degree. They can express themselves if you want them to do it written. But you like, they can do it this and third, but I would say, I would even tailor it to say, if there's things that you don't understand, I want you to write that. Tell me the parts that you're not sure about. If you don't know what a word means, say, I don't know what this word means. I want you to write that. I want you to go through this, read these 2 paragraphs, at least tell me what you get from it. Could you even kind of like rephrase it? How would you tell your friend this or somebody else? Like, if they ask you, yo, what's this about? I ain't do the homework. They say, what's this about? If you had to just, something quick, what's this about? Because whatever it is about, you would then have an opinion or a statement on it, right? Even if it was like a movie. Well, it's about this. It's just a movie about this. Do you do or don't like it? Agree with how this was said, or could this have been done differently? Those type of things. Just your opinion on it, and why you would give me a couple of reasons as to why. I'm looking for the type of response I'm looking for looks like this. But you know, other thing I could sit and talk about, that he doesn't have a teacher's mentality. That's why I don't say teacher. Talk about relationships. Real quick. You know, in a relationship. You know what a girl gonna say? She gonna tell you everything she did. You know what a woman gonna say? A woman is gonna tell you everything she did for that man. A woman's gonna tell you how she used to cook dinner every night, made sure breakfast was packed and breakfast was made fresh in the morning, lunch was packed so he could take that to work. She gonna say, as soon as he got home, she ain't even let him finish. Honey, I had a bad gawk, gawk, gawk. He ain't had to say too much. While he's sitting there chatting about whatever, she focused on other things. She gonna tell you, she used to let him drive the car. He might have went to go see somebody else. She gonna tell you everything she did for that man. Then she gonna say what he didn't do, what he couldn't do. Right. Better. Correct. Right. Not right as in reading right. She gonna tell you everything she did before she says. A woman's gonna tell you everything she did for a man before she says. Damn, what am I trying to say? A woman's gonna tell you everything she's done for a man before she tells you what he was unable to do for her. And I didn't hear that from you, Darius Cooks. I didn't hear you say, what did you do to ensure their success? That was missing. I didn't hear you say what steps, what activities, what directions, what did y'all do together? What did you show them how to do that led to you coming to the conclusion that they can't read and write? That's what a teacher would have did. A teacher would have said, I showed them this. I did this. We did this. This is what we did together. This is what they did amongst themselves. And then I asked them to do something, produce something independently. That's how a teacher would have handled that. That's what a teacher's response would have been. It would have been, I did this, I showed them this. We did this together. They did some group work amongst each other, help working with each other, bouncing ideas off each other, so they could see how another student approaches, learns, and attacks this problem. And then they were asked to produce something of their own accord. And that's just one sample. That's the rookie teacher. The veteran teacher would have said, we did it like this day, we did it like this day, or at this point in time, then we did it like this. And so I have sample work for this student consistently producing this quality of work. So then I would say, this is what they're at. And I have a collection of data, and this is the benchmark. This is where I would place them at. And so I'm probably going to have to tailor some stuff a little bit different so they can approach it at least at this level. I'm able to say this about this student because I have a collection of their body of work. You see, I ain't never heard of you. I ain't never heard of you. But there's plenty of people who could say, this is this guy, and this the resume. Look at his body of work. You know? I remember somebody looked at me and said, I ain't had what it took to be a teacher. Ended up being the best teacher some students ever had. That's what they said. I guess there's things you need to learn. To teach is to learn twice. Because you teach it more than just the content, the subject matter. I would suggest you read this book called Teach Like a Champion. Teach Like a Champion, it's gonna tell you how you should pass out papers. Why does that matter? How you pass out papers. Well, if you pass out, if it take you 2 minutes, you could do it in a minute. That's a minute that you just saved that you could be doing something more productive. Instead of you passing out, somebody else passing out. Or is it they already, it's a paper's right there at the door. Make sure you grab that paper when you walk in the door. Right. I remember it talked about pay attention. What does that mean? How do you pay attention? What did that look like? Have y'all talked about that? Do they know what it's like to pay attention? Do they know what does pay attention mean when you say it? Are they being disobedient out of ignorance, not knowing the clear direction, task, goal, what they should be aiming for? Or are they being disobedient out of defiance? Like they know what the task, goal, what the aim should be, steps to take, and they choosing not to do it. Public praise, private punishment. Public praise and private punishment. You know what that means? So what you just did is you publicly shamed those students. I'm gonna speak for myself, but I know someone who also expressed the same sentiment. They just took even if it was a parent, not even the student themselves, a parent or another teacher is also a little bit just disrespected by the fact that you said this. Now some people was like, it's the message. Don't the messenger. It's a crisis out here. You know what you did not do? I'm just saying, if I was going to I would have, I would say, man, like I said, I would say, I would have showed everything we did, the direction, and this is what was produced. I still got my old website of, this student work, that'll show student work and what we used to do in school and class. I still have some of my students' projects. They're like, you did this? No, their name right there, they did that. This is what they did. How'd you get them? The student looked at me and said, if I ain't had to lead this class, I wouldn't. We taught every subject, I'd be here. I don't even feel like going to this other person's class. There's young people, I get asked almost, for sure monthly, about going back to teaching. This whole little moment, this little incident, like, I was really sitting there thinking like, yo, what type of, like, how could I have a video, right? That kind of sort of almost feels like class. Kind of sort of almost feels like class. That's the trick of the trade. You get into work, but they're not thinking it's work for it. They having fun. You know what I'm saying? They doing scavenger hunts. Mixing and matching and coloring and shapes and all that. They doing all this stuff. They figuring out riddles and stuff. Solving problems. Still focused on this stuff. It aligns to this standard. Because I think somebody actually did look at whatchamacallit. Let me try to I'm trying to see. Like what could I do? Because like I put some little stuff together. Like okay, it's a little lesson about this. It's a little lesson about this. A little lesson on this. English, history, science, math. Do some foreign language, elective, do this, do that. I feel like class. Went to class today. Did you take any notes? You ain't write nothing down? You didn't think nothing was good? Nothing was important? You remember? You don't remember? I was actually kind of sort of thinking like, how could I, create a video of that vibe, of that essence. But I think I did. I did it. It was legitimate. I at least had to talk about this, talk about this, talk about that. Talk about it. There's some notes in there. I ain't giving them. I ain't saying no. You know what I used to be like? If I write, you write. They used to say that. Whatever I wrote on the board, you should have in your notebook. And you know how I would enforce that? We doing a notebook check. That's part of your grade. That's a real quick grade right there. And I have a stamp. Last few minutes of class, show me your notebook. Stamp, 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 stamp. Put this grade. I'm gonna put this grade in right now. That's an easy 100. I'm this or them. You ain't right. I wrote it. I can't even, cause you ain't even. Where this at? I wrote this. I wrote this. I wrote this. I don't see this on your notes. I know how much notes you should have. I have this much notes in my notebook. Like, man, that's always like being a teacher. You doing the work. You gotta do the work 3 times almost. 4 times. You gotta go through the assignment. You gotta go through the assignment once before you give it to them. Cause you gotta be on some, I gotta do this. What do I need to say? What do I gotta, so that to make sure that they do this, they think about this. Oh, I messed up on this part. I gotta make sure they watch part on this too. You gotta go through it once. Then you actually gotta teach it. Go through it again with them. Then you gotta grade it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta go through that whole thing at bare minimum 3 times. Bare minimum. And that's why, and that's why I harp on like the whole it's day 2, because I would come back the next day before I get to make this conclusion. They can't read and write. I gotta confirm. I'd be like, yo, yesterday, this was the goal and objective. I was expecting this. This is what I got. This is how you even talk. Right? Because at the end of the year, where I've been at, places I've been through, at the end of the year, you gotta look. A little windy. At the end of the year, or just when you go to talk to a principal, you gotta sit there and be like, this is what they were at. I had this diagnostic. They took the same diagnostic in the middle of the year, at the end of the year, or just at least in the beginning, same one at the end of the year. They perform better. Look at the score go up. That's at least some type of proof that they learned something. You see what I'm saying? But I would even, before I even tell whatchamacallit, I would come back the next day. Before I make this video and post this, say they can't read and write, I would come back and be like, yo, this what happened yesterday. I was expecting this. This what I got. And this is how I would even say to them, right? Even if I was to tell them they can't read and write, this is how I would say it. Now, this is what I would say to them. Oh, I didn't get that time. What number is this? Oh, I ain't see. I must not say the number. Questo è soggetto. 1204. 1204. 1204 is not the time. Or the year. We're in the 1200s. This is what I would say. This is what I would say. And if I was going to even say, if I was going to tell these students to their face, you got on this big here internet and said it to the world publicly, but you ain't said it to their face, I'd be like, okay, I gotta go to the principal. No. How to say this? Where we at here? This is how I would go about it. This is what I would do. I would come into class. I would say, yesterday, this was the assignment. This was the task. I was expecting you to give a response like this. These were the responses I got. And just put some of their responses up. Either take a picture of what was or was not written. Not with the names. Post that up there. So, and as you go through, you can go through all of them just so everybody's accountable. These were the responses I got from everybody in class. Make that a pic. You can make that one big picture, or just go through, make it on a little PowerPoint, and click through. This is everybody in class. This is everybody, and do it. And I'll do this for every student in every block. This is the responses I got. Now, if these are the responses I got to this task, from an outsider looking in, I would think that you can't read and write. This is how I would kick it to them. I would think that you can't read and write. Why would I think that? Because this is what you were supposed to do. And I would show them, this is what I would have thought it would have been this. I thought you would have gave something like this. These are sample responses I thought I was going to try to get. I ain't getting that. This is what I got. And if I had to make if I had to come to a conclusion based off what was produced, I would think that you can't read and write. Now, I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't necessarily think that's true. So I need you to prove me wrong. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this again. Here's another 2-paragraph prompt, text response, and this is what I'm expecting. And bare minimum, I'm expecting you to produce more than you did the day before. And at least prove to me that you can read and write. Because I don't want to make that statement right there. Because if you can't read and write and you're a senior in high school, there's other things that we're going to have to talk about and other things that we should probably be doing. And you know what I'm saying? There's some other things we have other priorities and other focuses. But let's take the time to do this correctly. That's what I would do. That's how I go about that. On day 3, I would come in, I would say, these are the responses I've got from every single person in this class. I would think that you can't read and write. Now, I don't necessarily think that's true, but what we're going to do is we're going to do this task over again. This is what I'm expecting. These are some these are some good examples of responses I'm expecting to be able to do. We're going to do this again. I graded every single one of these papers just like this as is. And so right now, you have the chance to redo this and get a better grade. Matter of fact, you got a chance to get an A. And I know you can get that. So let's go ahead and get an A for today. And let's put it you can read and write, because I know you can. So let's do that. Let's do that right now. First thing, day 3. Day 3. Because we're gonna do this right. That's what I would do if I was still teaching. If I was a teacher. And if I wanted to ensure, I would say, again, I would well, let's do something. Let's do this together. Let's go through yesterday's response together. And then I'm going to show you what an A looks like. And I want you to replicate an A, what an A looks like. Why is this an A? What makes this an A? And then I need you to go get an A for the day. I need you to at least strive for that. Now here's your chance. You do it. That's how I go about that. Like I said, what was missing from your crying video was you saying what you did to ensure their success. That was missing. I know a woman that was in a relationship, she would tell you everything she did to try to fix this, help this, save this, make sure that things went right. That's what you acting like. Out here crying on day 2. Should have been crying in front of them. Instead of crying in front of a camera, you should have been crying in front of them. What are you crying for? Because your job is hard? It's going to be harder than what you thought it was going to be? Because right now, if they failing, that means you failing. That's the teacher's mentality. If they failing, that means you failing. But before you get to that point of taking ownership of their failure, you're going to say, this is what I did to make sure that they whatchamacallit. It wasn't that they can't, it's that they can. It's not that they can't read and write. It's, let me see. That's what it is. You know, there's a lot of things that people be like, well, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. No. It's under what conditions would you do this and would you do that? So it's not that they can't read and write. It's, did you cultivate an environment in which they will read and write? Did you create an environment, and the word is will. The emphasis on the word is will. It's how do I say that? Like people, like some students used to whatchamacallit, even this how it used to kind of be like, if a student failed my class, they would still come back to my class and talk with me and sit with me. But they understood that it was them, they just did not do it, that they made that choice not to. But you could get a group of some of the students and they'd be like, they would look at him like, yo, you failed his class? You just didn't do the work. Why didn't you just do the work? All you gotta do is do the work. Like, I'm trying to, I had this one student, like she would get a B. She could get a B easy. But she was gonna get the A. And so and what I'm trying to say is like, she would just be on something. Like, failing didn't make sense. Not in my class. So I gotta do the work. That's for any class, right? It's just all you just make sure you do, and y'all gonna be like, why you ain't do it? Like, why you ain't just do the work? Why didn't they? Is a better question. Not that they couldn't. One of my things I remember kicking it to, like, we had this thing, professional development. I get this thing. Any task that's set before you, nobody wants to fail. Everyone wants to do good. It doesn't matter what it is. Nobody wants to fail. Nobody goes. They might think that they may fail. They don't want to fail. Different things. Nobody wants to fail. They want to do good. And they can. But what do you gotta do to make sure that they do and can and want to? Till he said, they tried. That's not even whatchamacallit, right? Yeah, that's not something that you whatchamacallit, right? You see what I'm saying? Because then you even take on a different mentality towards it's like, okay, they tried. You know? They tried. We wouldn't say that. Make it look like you tried. Just be on some. Make it look like you tried to do the work. It looked like you tried. You ain't do well, but it looked like you tried. Let's work with that. So let's put these efforts. Let's turn the ship a little bit. Navigate. If we can take these steps and get it up. Just divert the energy in this way. No, that's the scaffolding, directing the thinking and the effort, the mentor, the thinking. Scaffolding is what questions you asking. What words are you saying? When they hear this, what prompts them to do this or do that? You know, Was it my first or second? Might have been my second year. I had this thing. We had the agenda, showtime. I'm like, showtime is what? Your time. They knew that. Showtime is my time. Anything that I write, what? We write. They knew that, bro. Day 2 is not a day that you, like, you see what I'm saying? What if somebody looked at you and after 2 days of knowing you came to a conclusion about you? Oh, makes sense. That makes sense, bro. You ain't did enough. You ain't spent enough time with them. You ain't got enough of their coursework, classwork. You ain't enough to make any type of conclusion. You can have an assumption, but on day 2, you do not make that conclusion. Yeah. As a former teacher, I didn't appreciate that. Ain't nobody gonna stand for that, bro. Ain't nobody gonna stand for that. Some people go as far as to post the assignment without the name. What was the assignment? Let me see what you're talking about. What did you do? What type of response was you looking for? Exactly. Day 3? Day 3 would have been, no, I'm not sure. Well, if you can't, that's a different problem. But I need to be sure. I need to be sure. You are senior in high school. You all seniors. That's how I'm like, you all seniors. This is what you were asked to do. That's how you kick that Jake, bro. You all seniors. This is what you were asked to do. Read this and then do this. These are the responses I got. That don't make me think. You know what you can even do? Start on the other classes. Show me the other classes. Cause you know another thing? Another thing is, you got like what, 120 something students. Something, none of them can read and write. You said can read and write. Every teacher would have had to say that. Every single one of their teachers would have had to say the same exact thing in the entire school. You got 120 students, and you ain't the only teacher. Every single teacher would have to say that. And if every single teacher says the students can't read and write, well, who's teaching? Because that clearly means that what? The teachers ain't doing their job. So why are you teaching? And why are you able to say that? Because out of 120 students, and that's not in one class, right? That's separate through your four. You got like what? Even on a block schedule, you gonna have like 3 classes a day, 6 classes. Yeah, you got like 120 students. They have to be spread amongst all the rest of the teachers, right? And so with 120 students, that basically almost in certain instances, especially within a high school, kind of sort of like that now, those 120 students that can't read and write are separated, have other classes, so that, and I'm saying like, of how many teachers will be able to say that same thing, even if it's just all 9th grade, all this, like, okay, these are like, that encompasses all these teachers. And all these teachers got students that can't read and write, that they inherited from another teacher. We're gonna agree with it here. So, if students can't read and write, that means the teachers ain't been teaching. If none of the students can read and write, why are the teachers teaching? Because they ain't teaching nothing. If can't none of the students read and write. If the students can't read and write, the teachers ain't teaching. I'm trying to figure out how to put that all together. They not doing their job. Somebody ain't doing their job. A lot of people ain't doing their job. A lot of people ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. The seniors. That's something to say. You said you had seniors who can't read and write. If the seniors can't read and write, that means a lot of teachers ain't doing their job and haven't been doing their job for years. And you know, some of that falls on parents and everything. If the seniors can't read and write, that means a lot of teachers, a lot of parents, a lot of adults ain't been doing their job, ain't been teaching, ain't been doing what they supposed to be doing. If you got a group of seniors that can't read and write, it takes a village, but what if the village is retarded? That's what I say. That's my 2 cents, my 2 hours.